All right, we've just discussed geometric shapes that make up our fruit. We talked about the core of the fruit with the pencil, showing it dark around using those darker shapes, and then showing the core with the light source versus the flatter shape that we're going straight up and down, and our texture of pencil, and the comparative between how we hold our pencil and how we texture it around. We're using regular pencil, and we can use textures with curls on our outer surface. We can get beautiful examples of colored pencils as we look at our drawing with our colored pencil. We can get that same feeling. So either one you have, you can still get the same effect. A straight line. On this side, I'm using colored pen or a regular pencil. I drew another avocado on the other side, and we're going to do that with colored pencil. We're going to show the comparison, but the same techniques that is viable for both. Let's start with a colored pencil, and we're going to start with yellow. When we're coloring in with colors, we want to build textures. We want to build our textures. The technique is still the same. We're going to go straight up and down with it with our pencil. My pencil here is very soft, so I'm going to press very hard, so hopefully you can see it. The same direction. We're going to be going the very same direction all the way around. We don't want to go opposite like that. We want to keep the consistent direction and put our base in there. The base color all the way around. It's the same way that you would use if you're using a regular pencil. All right, once we get that texture around, all the way around the surface, and then as we are working, we're going to go with a colored pencil. On top of the yellow, we're going to look for a green, and we're going to blend those colors together. See how beautiful that coloration gets in there? We're going to shade using the side of my pencil. The color I am going to be pressing nice and firm on there. I'm going to try to follow the texture around. And I'm going to put a softer edge so I can show that the material or the skin looks very, very smooth. It has more depth when we add more colored layers in it. So I'm using my edge. Another color with it always makes it look like it has a deeper coloration in it. We're directional pattern on there right around the core. Put a nice shadow behind around the core and around our leaf. All right, with a regular pencil, it's a little bit different. Let's look over at the colored pencil versus the regular pencil on this side. It's the same strokes. It's exactly the same strokes, and you can see at the edge, if this was my green on my colored pencil, it would be able to show that was the edge, but it's still those same strokes. See how that works? Nice and softly around there. All right, see, that's very similar in the shading. All right, let's move back on to our core of our seed part. The seed. Okay, looking at our seed, see how the texture is there, the core is still there, but on the colored pencil, it's layers of color. So let's start again with our yellow base. I need to make sure my highlight is there. And on this, I'm going to let even the highlight have a little color cast to it. All right. So we are going to put our yellow base down there, and then in order to get the core, let's use a different colored pencil a bit. Again, I'm going to put in the core. I'm using a little bit of orange to indicate that core in there. The core is here, and the light source. Let's notify where that round is. My light source is up here, so I got to make sure that I am guiding my line to my light source. And I'm going to place down my core. Remember, the core runs away from the light source, so we're going to put it on the opposite side, and we're going to show that darker, okay? So I'm going to blend. It's always about blending one coloration into the other, laying that pencil down, and then softly under the core, it's going to be blent down softly as well. All right, we are going to shade very softly above and below. That's getting a little darker color in there. That's going to lay that in. This is about as dark a brown as I have, so let's put that core back in and blend it back up. It gives greater depth to the seed. All right. Adding different colors always helps build that out. My light source is there. Let's build back in the edge of it so it pops out with a regular pencil. Okay, and I also can use my regular pencil and blend in. Blend it around. Get my seed a little bit darker around the edge so it pops out to separate it from the meat of it where we did our yellow and green. See the difference now. See the rendering of the core of the seed with the regular pencil. Both required that light source. All right. Let's blend it around. The light source is there. Always define. That way we'll know exactly where that core is. Okay. All right. Good job. That is our avocado seed. We can come back and you will be detailing even more. Let's look at the skin of it. If you remember the avocado skin that we did on the pencil, but this one we're going to add color. It's greenish tints, but it still has textury depth. The curly cube, but now we're going to do it with our regular colored pencil. The same thing goes with our colored pencil. We're going to use curly, roundy shapes to indicate that texture. All the way around. It jumps on this side and up and around to show texture. Then we can go in the darker again with our colored pencil. That's the beauty of it. You can go back in with more than one value, more than one color in to make it look as if it has greater depth. With a darker pencil, we can be able to show the crevices in that texturing. Remember, you are not hiding the undertones. You just want them to pop out underneath so you can still see that coloration. Even the edge, we want to create a ripply, textury shape all the way around. And then let's put back in our dark crevices with a curly Q texture. All right, pretty good. We want to keep it as simple so you can see how much you can get in a drawing by just adding some of those Q. All right. All right, great. Now let's move on to our grapes. And our grapes, let's look at it. I love undertones, so we use yellow, a little orange before I came in with my purple to give it depth, richer and deeper. So again with my yellow, we'll do it right beside our regular pencil, showing circling out the light source because we want that bright and maybe even white. And then we're going to put our undertone of yellow. Remember, the colored pencil is the same as a regular pencil. So we need to go in with our core, lay down our pencil and create our core, knowing that we're using our light source to define where that is going to be. So we lay our pencil down and we shade softly where the dark would be, just like our pencil, regular pencil above it. And our grape is going to be a purple color, so let's find that purple color. And again with the core, I really like to make sure my core indicates where my light source is, and as I shade up to that core and then shade away from that core, lay that pencil down and come around and deepen in, so we know that this object is definitely round. Notice my core is following the shape of my grape. So let's darken in so we can see that it's underneath. It's nice and dark. So that's the difference between the pencil and the colored pencil. Let's do another one. On this one, I'm just going to add just the regular purple and less of the yellow and the orange, so you can actually see the difference in the depth of what that object really looks. Okay, so it looks, the one when you add the other layers, it makes it look like it's deeper. It makes it looks like it has more depth and it's richer. So we put our purple down, so let's add a little bit of yellow and orange back in, and you can define how rich you want that coloration to be. It's all up to you. Okay, let's darken that side so it pops out a little bit more. Okay, let's come back through with my regular pencil and let's darken in the core even a little bit more, because purple is a very deep color. So you can see the variations. A regular pencil, the one that has deep colors in it, and more of just that one tone of purple. Again, the core is running away from that light, so we shade it out underneath on each one so that we can tell it's overlapped underneath it. Nice and dark. Depending on how dark your colored pencils are. My colored pencils that I'm doing on this one has a softer feel, but you can press harder to get the depth that you want in there. Let's add a little bit more orange in there, because the skin of a grape usually has more than one value in it. Okay, the shade of that highlight and the core that really makes it look like it does turn the corner, and it is a round three-dimensional object. Let's darken underneath. Okay, there we go with that. The difference between the color pencil and the regular pencil. The rules are still the same: the highlight, the light source, and the core for right. All right, the next one we're going to do, let's go to our next fruit and see if those are the same. Let's do the plum. All right, the plum is also more purple. We're going to use yellowish, a little bit of pink in there. Okay, so let's find those combination of undertones. Okay, let's start with the yellow undertone. All right. Very soft, nice and round. Again, thinking about our strokes are following the same direction as the object, but intentionally put down one smooth, so it's not going from one side to the other and then switching from top to bottom. We're going to keep that light source light, and again, let's Okay, let's get with our pink. Pressing nice and dark. Again, we're trying to put in there that where the core is going to be. All right. This is a quick and fast way of defining objects by having our light source and also the shape of the object. Let's outline it. All right, that's cored around here. I like to call this area underneath that the color lays that down, and the color light bounces off the table, so that's why the underside is very light under the core. But we're going to concentrate on the core. Nice purple, so let's get in there with that purple in there and shade it. Shading in the core first, deepening up that purple. Okay, the real color of our plum now is really purple, so I'm going to really try to shade in that purple, like that purple color, and lighter towards the bottom. I'm pressing really hard with this pencil, but again following direction of it. Let's outline where it has a little dip into it. And wherever surface change, I like to press really hard. If it rolls away and there's nothing behind it, I like to have it nice and dark. So let's outline that really nicely. All right, we're going to that falls away. So we're going to put a little shading on that as well. Remember our light source. All right, pressing nice and hard for the core part, and now you can start seeing the value of it come through. Okay, this part kind of falls inside, so let's add a mini little core in this part so it looks like that the surface turns in. So I'm going to darken that just a little bit. And again, making sure we keep the part towards the top nice and light. We could keep going and keep going, but make sure we blend. Okay, let's get the color, the regular pencil, and let's darken the whole outside perimeter of it all the way up and around wherever the surface turns. All right, good. And we could keep going, but I have a real pear here. It has a little pit at the bottom, and the coloration is yellowish and greenish. The light source really shows that, and then away from the light source it's darker. So let's look at how we would use colored pencil for that. Again, define where the light source is and the core. Now, the reason why I chose this shape, I am not going all the way around. I'm following the direction of the outer shape of the pear. I'm going to curve my strokes very intentionally around the outer shape. Again, if we can get our core in there, we can get a quick indication of a 3D object. All right, so we said we had yellow and it was green. So again, we had our yellow, so let's put in our core with using our green. Same direction of what is that object. I am going to even show a light core here because it rolls away. Okay, so I'm going to put a little core there. Light sources there is still left very light. Okay, let's press a little bit harder around our little indent here. Pulling around the side. Same curve shape. It's not just round, but it's a curve shape. Okay, right back into the core and around each part. Okay, So I hope you're understanding and can see that whether we use a regular pencil or a colored pencil, if we can concentrate on our main thoughts of light source, leaving that light spot, and then following the core around whatever shape that object is. Okay, let's color in a little bit into the pit area. I'm going to use a darker pencil. Oops, see if we can find another green. Okay, let's pull that around. Nice and dark. Let's go to our regular pencil and let's lay it down a little bit and shade back in the core. It is the same shape as my outer line. All right, shading that in very softly. A little bit on our mini core around on that top, but leaving that light source. We're going to go back through. All right, to get the object of our lesson here is showing the light source and the core no matter what object. If the object is round, your core needs to follow a round contour shape. Okay? All right. Pencil is the same. We come and we shade straighter for a regular pencil, but we get values and tones. Whereas a colored pencil, you get the same technique, but you're layering of colors. I hope you enjoyed that. And we will keep concentrating how we can get deeper and deeper colors. I'm going to let you keep working on it, and we'll talk to you soon.